expectations when quarterback Jared Goff was taken #1 overall by the Rams in 2016. But then he was traded to the Lions in 2021, and his former team went on to win the Super Bowl that very next season. Last year, Detroit started 1-6, but ended on a high note, winning 8 of 10. And those expectations, they're high once again. Jeff Darlington had the chance to catch up with the Lions QB1.
Jared Goff has been written off, and I don't understand why.
We've come light years ahead of where he was 2 years ago when we walked in.
I think they have a shot to be really good with him as their starting quarterback.
Detroit is that team that people still don't take seriously.
I will dive right into that, Phil. The best regular season football game I have ever witnessed. You know exactly what I'm about to talk about. 54-51. Yep. You and Patrick Mahomes.
Goff walks it to the end zone and touchdown.
This is going to be the first time where you play against him, and it's going to open the NFL regular season. What does that mean to you?
It's exciting. It's exciting for our team to be on that stage and to be able to have enough respect from the rest of the league to be able to play in that game. I think we've come a long way from 2 years ago when I first got here to being able to come in this game against the defending champs.
How would you best describe the last 3 years of your professional life?
Oh, man. Yeah, somewhat of a roller coaster, both emotionally and on the field and physically and mentally, all of it.
Your first year, what was so hard about it?
Well, getting traded and then having the season we had, being 3-13 and being 0-8 at one point. You know, you can kind of chuckle at it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. And having to go through that and you know, try to be the same guy every day and show up for your teammates every day, it's hard.
You said you can kind of laugh at it now. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you far enough past it?
I think I'm far enough past it where I have a little bit of good perspective on it now, and I know how great it was for me. And you know, adversity strikes at any time, and you'd like to think that you're kind of coming out of it now, but who knows? You know, you could fall right back into it. But I think personally, I've done some things that I feel good about in the last couple of years to feel like that was a worthwhile experience for me.
Goff in the pocket, looks, throws deep downfield, got a man wide open, inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
How would you currently describe this moment in your career as we sit right here?
Yeah, I hope to be describing it as entering my prime. I feel like I'm playing, you know, as well as I've ever played, and physically I'm as strong as I'm going to be for the next, you know, hopefully 5 to 7, 8 years, and I feel good. I feel like I'm entering a point in my career where I have a good grasp of everything we're doing, and feel like I'm becoming that veteran quarterback that you always, you know, grew up watching.
The Lions have not won a playoff game since the 1991 playoffs. You weren't even born yet.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of that history, and does it mean anything to you?
I have a sense of the history. It's important for us, but I don't think it weighs on us. Like, it is part of the history of this organization, but our team is a different team than last year's team and the previous 30 years. So we are focused on what we can do every day and getting better. And certainly we see that in the building, and that's our goal, is to get to win the division and get to the playoffs and get in the dance and see what we can do from there.
As promised, our quarterback is back with us. Okay, Dan, you're very familiar with this organization. You're very familiar with Goff. What do you think the ceiling is for this team?
Well, first of all, it's the best roster they've had top to bottom in 30 years. And so realistically, this is a playoff team, and I would not be shocked if they're in the NFC Championship. 15 days from now, they're going to go down to Arrowhead and play Kansas City, and I think they're going to give Kansas City everything that they can handle. This is a top 3 to top 4 offensive line in football, and an offensive mind in Ben Johnson as the play caller that is in or trending towards being in the conversation with guys like Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan. So with Jared Goff at the helm, that offensive line, and pieces like a up-and-coming star in Amon-Ra St. Brown, the draft of Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta out of Iowa is another draft pick at tight end. I think they have a lot of pieces. They're going to look like a Kyle Shanahan offense when it comes to creativity. So this offense is going to be very difficult to stop. They have a remade secondary, Aiden Hutchinson at the defensive end. If he takes that next big step and that secondary stays healthy and plays together, there's no questions asked that this team is good enough to be into that conversation, right? Maybe right underneath with Philadelphia and San Francisco, but very much so in the conversation with a Seattle and a Dallas.
Okay, so according to ESPN Analytics, Detroit has the 4th best chance to reach the NFC Championship at 21%. Christina mentioned your dance moves. Do you want to dance off as you leave us?
I'm just going to walk.
I saw you dancing on Get Up. That's not fair. Thanks, Dan.
I don't have no music.
We've got another big quarterback development. Our Nick Wagner reporting that Sam Darnold will be the 49ers' backup to Brock Purdy. The team is exploring all options with Trey Lance, the number 3 pick in the 2021 draft. He is not in attendance at the start of today's practice. Lance was named QB1 to start last season, but was hurt in the second game and did not return. Now, when he's healthy, it's been a struggle for the third-year quarterback out of North Dakota State. He's completed only 55% of his passes, the third worst percentage among the 58 quarterbacks with 100 pass attempts over that span. Lance has been off target on 24% of those throws, the worst in the league.
To find my worth. I had a purpose before everybody had an opinion.
Jalen Hurts is the most touchdown runs by a quarterback in a Super Bowl.
Eagles lead with everything they had.
I've always been my biggest critic, never liked to look at the results, just the process of getting better.
Sometimes the road to redemption can be tough, but the reward so sweet. That's what the Eagles want, as they'll try to become the 9th team to make it back to the Super Bowl after losing in the previous season. Of those 9, only 3 won the Super Bowl: the 2018 Patriots, the 1972 Dolphins, and the 1971 Cowboys. We're going to bring on our ESPN senior NFL writer, Bill Barnwell. He has a story on ESPN.com right now listing the teams that could regress, and he joins us now. Bill, I'm interested. Let's start with the Eagles. So what was the main reason you think the defending NFC champs could slide?
It's the health. What they had a year ago. Jalen Hurts did miss a couple games at the end of the season, but even including Hurts, their 11 starters on offense missed a total of just 12 games all season. There's great players on that offense, but obviously everyone's better when everyone is healthy enough to play week after week. You can't count on that happening year after year. And then you flip to the defensive side of the ball. They lost 5 starters on the defensive side of the ball after Jalen Hurts got his, of course, well-deserved but significant raise from what he was making a year ago. They lose both coordinators, offensive and defensive. The schedule gets tougher this year by playing a first-place schedule. And hey, no NFC East team has repeated as divisional champ since 2004, so the Eagles have their work cut out for them in 2023.
So unexpected changes and some expected changes. The Football Power Index right now has the Eagles with the 5th toughest schedule heading into the season, so that doesn't help your argument. Let's stay in the NFC East, though. You also think the Giants are likely to decline. What makes you so cautious about them, Bill?
Yeah, it's the way they won games last year. It's hard to see that being as sustainable in 2023. I'll give you an example. Go on the defensive side of the ball. The Giants were the worst defense, I should say, in football on 1st and 2nd down. Well, on 3rd down, they morphed into the 2nd best defense in football. They were the 4th worst defense outside of the red zone, but get close to the 20-yard line. Inside the 20, they were the 2nd best defense in all of football. You can't just flip a switch and turn on your defense the way the Giants did last season. The offense was much better, but they turned the ball over at the 2nd lowest rate of any team in football. That's tough to keep up. And Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley were healthy for full seasons for the first time together in their pro career. So a lot has to go right again for the Giants to keep back up and make it back to the postseason for a 2nd consecutive season.
Here's something that won't help the Giants. As for where the FPI has them, their 8th toughest schedule this season. Bill Barnwell, yeah, it's a tough situation. Thank you so much.